The Galen Hour. 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 Every Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. on Love Television and Facebook Live.
Good night and welcome to the Galen Hour. Welcome to the Galen Hour. I am your host, Diana Gomez Perifit. The Galen Show is a show that's produced by Galen University. It focuses on our Eagles. You get to meet our deans. We talk about our programs. We talk about our commitment to lifelong learning, sustainable development, and academic excellence. We talk all things Galen University. You will get to hear about all of the developments happening at Galen University, and we will weigh in from an academic perspective on national issues. This show airs every Thursday night at 8 o'clock here on Love TV. It is streamed live on Love Facebook page and shared on Galen's Facebook page. We welcome you. We thank you for joining us. And we will take our first break, and when we come back, we will meet with our guest. And tonight we're focusing on academics and athletics. Welcome to the Galen Hour.
Our Galen University family urges you to take the stand with us to get vaccinated so that we can live healthier and safer lives.
I am Dr. Eve Aird, your provost. I took the COVID-19 vaccine for my husband's health, my family's health, and for my health. And most especially for your health, for the health of the Galen faculty, staff, and students, and for Belize's health. Join me in taking the COVID-19 vaccine so we can return to campus in September, confident that we are in a safe, healthy environment, and so that we can help Belize to recover from this COVID-19 pandemic.
Let's get together and save our country. Get vaccinated today.
I'm Dr. Sylvia Cattouse, Dean of the Faculty of Management and Entrepreneurship, and I'm fully vaccinated. I get vaccinated for the sake of my students, my family, and colleagues. I urge all our students and all of Belize to get vaccinated.
For the safety of our country, get vaccinated today.
I'm Sherry Gibbs, the Dean for the Faculty of Art, Science, and Technology. I got vaccinated because I trust the science, but because I also want to protect my family, my colleagues, and my students. I can't wait to see them again in September, so I encourage everybody out there to get vaccinated so we can protect each other.
I'm Coach Bernie Tarr, and let's play our role and get vaccinated.
For your future, for my future, for our future, let's keep Belize safe.
Galen University, promoting academic excellence, sustainable development, and lifelong learning. Visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz and remember to follow us on our social media for more updates.
Welcome back to the Galen Hour. You got a little bit of what we're going to be talking about and who we'll be talking with tonight. So I want to welcome you back, and I want to welcome our guests. Tonight we're talking athletics and academics. And we have with us Coach Tarr, who is the Director of Athletics at Galen University, and our senior coach. They will join us shortly. We also have 4 of our alumni athletes with us. We have, as usual, we have our Galen Eagles on, who help us to share all of the wonderful experiences they had at Galen. But tonight the focus is how we can make athletics work for us as young, talented athletes in our country. And so we have joining us tonight Faron Loriano. Welcome, Faron. We have Zahir Figueroa. Welcome, Zahir. We have Jasmine Armstrong, the Rose Among Thorns. Well, for tonight at least. Welcome, Jasmine. And we have Brighton Codd, who's been in the news of late, on the news, and all of them are proud Galen Eagles, and we're absolutely proud to have them with us. We're happy to hear from them and to engage them tonight. And so as we move into the show, there they are, so we can see them now. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is an absolute pleasure to be talking with you. We know you have lots of wonderful stories and experiences and motivation to share with our young people. You all are successes in your own rights, each of you going your own direction, and each of you having at least one commonality that we can identify, and it's you're all alumni athletes and Galen Eagles. So welcome.
Thank you.
I want
for having us.
You're smiling?
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Welcome. I'll give each of you a chance to introduce yourselves, but I really want to start off tonight with one question, and I'll direct it at Coach Starr to get us started. Athletics is a powerful tool. Absolutely powerful. If you've been to primary school, high school, Galen University, any other tertiary institution in Belize or wherever you go, you've attended school or any, you realize that athletics unites its students, its staff, it's the families of the students and staff, the community. It's an absolutely powerful tool. Coach Starr, tell us, you have many years of coaching. I mean, you've been at Galen since 2015, but you have years of coaching. You've been living in Belize way before it and coaching in different arenas. Tell us what you find this athletic, being part of coaching a team, what it does for you, for the families, for the athletes at Galen, for the students.
I mean, I was fortunate to win a NABL championship with Farron, with the Belmont Pond Bandits in 2017. And at that time, Farron went into retirement and then was coerced back out of retirement. And he was a former NABL MVP, former champion, you know, and dealing with the Belmont Pond Bandits then in the community, to bring a championship to Belmont Pond was, I mean, the boat ride back from San Pedro, Farron can remember, it was like unbelievable. Had the opportunity to win a championship at Galen with Brighton Cod in basketball. I can remember our practice before the night before the championship game, and Jarrell twisted his ankle or something like that, Jarrell Velasquez, and you know, it's just a great feeling when you can compete together. The thing I miss most with the pandemic is competition. You don't know how it's going to end up. You compete, you give the best you got, you prepare, and there's no greater feeling. Even a great loss, you know, it's just we've walked out of that gymnasium. Jasmine went through it in basketball when we lost to UB, and on a tiebreaker by 1 point, and that would have been the first time that, you know, there's to me it's to be on lockdown like this for, you know, a full year and change. It's been tough, but as we can see, we're finding new ways to move forward, and you know, the vaccine is definitely going to help us get there.
Help us. So we can't reinforce enough that before you relax, get vax. And that is the motto or the slogan for the campaign that's going on by our government. Yes, so thank you, Coach Starr. So we have our 4 Eagles on with us, and I'd like to hear from them just how powerful playing athletics has been for them. How, if they can think of times at Galen or wherever else, because I know you have all moved on and gone to, we're talking with people who are in the big leagues here, and Coach Starr kind of reinforced that. How did it feel when you saw your fellow students come out, your team members, your family, the community come and cheer you on? What does that do for you as an athlete?
Well, let me break the ice. Yeah, you go ahead, Farron. Let me break the ice. It's always great competing. Speaking for myself, I'm big on competition, and you feel even more courageous when you have your family there. You have a coaching staff, and you have teammates who support you, as well as having the school behind you. I remember my first athlete playing at Galen I think that was one of the best experiences for me, because I didn't know Kaya people could go on like that. You know, everybody came out in the bus and all of that, and they had the mascot, the Harpy Eagle. It was crazy. So we ended up winning. So to put all of that together, it's a great feeling when you know you're going to battle against an opponent and you have the support of your family, your friends, your teammates, your school, and your coaching staff. So it's a great feeling.
I agree. I'm glad you brought up the Harpy Eagle. He is our mascot. It is our mascot. And recently, and I just want to put this in, Galen has committed to sponsoring and making donations to the Harpy Eagle. So that's one way we're going to assist the zoo, but also honor our Harpy Eagle. And she's so beautiful. And he is so beautiful. Panama put off a wonderful show for us when we went to visit the zoo. But thank you. So yes, Harpy is a big part of our athletics and our sports. Jasmine, let's hear from you. I know you've been playing sports from a very young age. Lots of times we get involved because our parents are there with us. They support us from young, and as we move up, you're a fairly recent graduate of Galen University, but you're still very involved, and you've gone from soccer, I think you're into weightlifting. Tell us, Jasmine, how has it been for you, and tell us how you found athletics to really unite, how powerful it is in your life.
Hi, well, for one, playing athletics for me was a way for me to get my education. That was my biggest push in meeting Coach Star. And I guess the best thing that Galen did for me was that it opened many doors to what I'm doing today. I not only played sports for them, but of course through outlets and people that Coach Star familiarizes himself with, I was able to meet a lot of new people, get into a lot of different sporting disciplines, and that is where I am today. Right now, I'm with the national team. I'm now into weightlifting, so I'm at Powerhouse in Belmopan, and there's a lot of things going on, and all this got connected through people at Galen University. And it's not just about being a part of something or winning a championship. It's about the family and the environment and the unity and being around one another. So my education gave me both of that. It basically gave me the best of both worlds. And most of the time it's like this, I'm the female amongst the guys, but I go all out for my school, my team, and my family, and now my gym, being there in Belmopan. And these people are some people that I actually met through Coach Star, that I actually met while I was at Galen University. So it brings together people in so many ways, and we miss it. It's a big part of us, like Coach Star has mentioned. But as personally, if I didn't have that drive to go more with my education and what I wanted to do, then I wouldn't have been here. My success wouldn't have been possible with the people that were behind me at Galen University and outside.
Thank you, Jasmine. Yes, you brought up several very key points, and so I will move into those points now, talking about how athletics, and Jasmine kind of mentioned, use her athletics and her talents to get her education. And so this is something I really want to talk about. More and more we're seeing our athletes get opportunities to go abroad and get their education because of athletics. We've seen some of them get jobs that are to play sports different, and we have Brighton on who will talk about that a little bit later on. But Galen allows and affords that opportunity to a lot of our young Belizeans. And so I wanted to pick up on that Jasmine said. If it wasn't, she was able to pursue her education because of getting a Galen scholarship. So I wanted to talk to all of you who are on here tonight about that and ask you, what made you decide to apply for a Galen athletic scholarship and to come to Galen and to get your education, because balancing academics and athletics is quite a balancing act. But let's hear about what got you there in the first place. Take a stab.
Yeah, I think if I could speak to that, before going to Galen University, I faced a lot of adversities, and a lot of people don't know the adversities that.
Okay. Is it Brighton? Is that here? You're back.
Yeah. Are you hearing me?
We're hearing you now, yes.
Okay. So Coach Dar wasn't there as yet, but I started Galen University in 2014. And I did know Coach Dar.
We're not hearing you. Okay, so maybe one of our other Eagles can take a step until I think he dropped off. Yes. Zahir, do you want to pick up until Brighton is able to get back on?
Sure. Well, like Jasmine said, Galen is where family is at. They're still in constant contact with everybody from Galen, especially Coach Dar. I mean, before I went to Galen, I had thought that maybe an associate's degree would be, that's it for me. But then I started to research, go on their website, look at the different programs that they offer, look at the different scholarships that are available to students. And I knew a couple of the professors there from before, even thinking about applying, and I spoke to them about it, and they're all very encouraging, and they're basically what made me get into it and became successful when applying for that scholarship. They recommended me, and I'm very grateful for that. And it has brought me to where I am today, which I am very appreciative of what Galen has done for me. I came a long way since I started Galen back in 2018. I finished up in 2020, and it has been an awesome experience. I would recommend Galen to anybody out there who's watching and might be doubting themselves about possibly getting into the school or getting an athletic scholarship. It's definitely the way to go if you're having doubts. Feel free to contact any of us who've been through the program. I think all of us are advocates for Galen now, and we appreciate everything that they do for us because we see what it's like, what the atmosphere there. Everything is so cared towards students and very friendly towards everybody.
Zahir, I like what you said to people out there who are not sure how to approach Galen. They're not sure how to get involved, if playing athletics is for them. I like that you said they can reach out to any of you because you are advocates for Galen, and that is absolutely fantastic because there's nothing like proof in the pudding. So you speak to somebody who's been to Galen, who can tell you firsthand what their experience was, is a huge selling point for, and a convincing point, I would want to say, for most people. So, but thank you very much for sharing that. Brighton, I am not sure if you're, you have a little bit better internet where you are? Brighton, do you want to say something?
Yes, are you hearing me?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're hearing you.
I was saying that before I started Galen, I faced so much adversity in junior college. I was kind of slipping off the rail with academics, and this was such a turning point in my life and an opportunity for me to get back on track. And I think I was so welcome. I felt so welcome when I got to Galen University. It changed my experience going forward for the better. And certainly Galen was the right decision. And I tell myself many times that if I could have done it over, I would have gone directly from high school to Galen University just because of the close-knittedness of the community there at Galen. It was so warm and welcoming, and people really cared about your development and your growth as an individual and as an athlete as well. There was nothing more heartwarming than just the support we received as athletes from our fellow students or fellow colleagues or fellow teachers, lecturers, and professors or administrators, and they were always there to support us whenever we represented Galen, and that was so heartwarming. I think it's an experience that any athlete cherishes, and so I would not change my Galen experience for anything. It was a fine time throughout my academic journey.
That is really heartwarming to hear. I mean, Galen does promote itself as an institution that caters to its student, and it's very student focused. And obviously we're not just selling dreams. If you listen to our Galen Eagles, to all of our alumni athletes that are on here tonight, they're saying exactly that. I want to bring in Farron though and ask, Farron, you did your MBA while playing sports. Help us and help other young people and other not so young people who want to go back to school, who still have that talent and sports in them. Tell them, how do you balance? How did you balance? How can they balance academics and athletics? Because you want to excel at both. And the idea is to come to school, do really well, but also to show all of your skills and do well at athletics. How do you do that? How did you?
Well, you really have to want it. Just to add some dynamics to that, I also commuted every day from Belize City to Central Farm because I also worked as a recruitment officer for the university, right? So I would also go to all the districts from Corozal down to PG to recruit students. So that was another dynamic that was added to the situation, but you have to really want it. You have to see your end goal, and my end goal was to pretty much graduate, of course, but make the most of the current situation. Why? Because when I was recruited to go and be a part of the Galen Eagles, there were a lot of young players who were coming directly out of high school. Now putting them into a home without any senior figure there wouldn't have yielded good results, right? So what sparked me was that I was deemed the person to look after these younger guys, show them that, all right, yes, athletics is good, but you have to also focus on the academic side. So it's just knowing your why. All the things that you have to go throughout the process is just a part of the puzzle that you're piecing together. You have to know why you want to do it. And my why was, one, to become a better leader, to also see where these young fellas were coming from, same place I was coming from, and showing them that through hard work and dedication and using the sport of basketball as a vehicle, you could get to achieving greater goals.
Thank you, Farron. Sports helps us to be leaders. It helps to hone our self-control. We will talk a little bit more about all of the good development and control and that we learn when we are athletes. It really is a forming process for young people, and we often come out on the other end, better individuals. We talk about leadership skills being honed. And when we come into the next segment, we'll talk a little bit more about the leadership skills, times when you've had to rise to the occasion, how you've influenced others, how people interact with you because of you're popular as a sport figure. So all of those things we will talk about. We do have a video that I'd like to share. People who are watching may be wondering, what is the athletic scholarship? So I'd like to ask for them to play. We do have a video from our finance department that speaks a little bit more to our athletic prowess scholarship and what it entails, and for the viewing audience, so they can say a little bit more about it. So we'd like for that video to be played, and then we can talk a little bit more about how you can become a Galen Eagle and Galen Eagle athlete.
Athletic Prowess Scholarship, and this is awarded to a student with CPGA of 3.0 and above. The athletic scholar is required to train and represent Galen University as a team member. maintains a GPA of 3.0 and above, and this scholarship covers 75% of your tuition. Again, you can utilize our payment plan and or Eagle Loan Scholarship to clear the remaining tuition if not paid in full. A student must also pay the registration and graduation fee.
To learn more about the Galen Athletic Prowess Scholarship and other scholarships available at Galen University, email us at finance@galen.edu.bz or call us at 824-3226.
Yes, so our finance department is there to serve you. You want to know more about the scholarships, you can call. If you want to know about any loan programs we have, you can call. We're there to serve you and to answer your questions. And on that note then, we'll take our second break, and when we come back, we'll talk some more with our alumni Eagles.
Audio Jungle.
I chose Galen because of its strong reputation.
Great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
I was happy to see the emphasis placed on thinking, research, and writing. It is what I need to take me where I want to go.
I like the way my professors use non-traditional activities to evaluate my progress.
I am very grateful for the wide range of support that helps me to do my utmost best. Everything from tutoring to personal counseling, including the writing lab, the success center, and the e-library.
Galen gave me the tools to turn my passion for archaeology into a career.
If you want to connect with your inner champion to make the world a better place, then Galen is right for you. Apply online at our website and come soar with the Galen Eagles.
Did you know that Galen University is offering a 20% tuition discount? In recognition of the challenging economic times, Galen University is offering a 20% tuition discount. Apply now at admissions@galen.edu.bz, call us at 615-3921, or visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz.
Welcome back to the Galen Hour. We just finished our first segment and we're talking with Farron, Jasmine, Zahir, Brighton, and Coach Tar. Some of the messages that came out from that segment were Athletes who are also in school and are students have to be dedicated. It's hard work, and you have to know your why. We also heard our Galen athletes talk about leadership roles that they play as athletes. So I want to pick up on those key terms and what we talked about and ask you all to say, while you're playing sports and athletics, yes, you become leaders. You have to demonstrate self-control. You have to be mature. You have to ignore taunting, because you'll be taunted, particularly by your opponent. You become role models. Whether you want to or not, you become role models. So I want you to talk about that, but also about occasions where in your athletic career, at Galen and beyond, because you've all moved beyond in terms of playing athletics, where you were called upon to be the bigger person, to take one for the team. Let's hear. What were some of your take one for the team experiences and being the bigger person? Coach? Oh.
Yeah, I have many situations like that. I think as leaders that we have to lead by example, that, it's not always going to go the way you want it to go. I've been in NEBL, San Pedro Tiger Sharks has been our rival, that we would always end up meeting them in the semifinals. And, I could remember Stephen Williams shooting a 3-point shot at the buzzer. The ball went 3/4 of the way in and came out, and, we lost that game. Jasmine, as we talked about with the basketball losing by 1 point, our female volleyball team made it to the nationals by playing a phenomenal regional tournament game against UB, and then going up against Ecumenical, and just whatever could go wrong went wrong for us. And you have to learn how to pick up the pieces, move forward, and learn from the experience when things don't go well. So I just think it makes you a stronger person inside athletics. And I think Rocky Balboa says that, it's not how hard you can hit, but it's how hard you can take a hit and keep moving forward. That's the key.
Yes, for sure. Any of our Eagles want to mention a time when they had to take one for the team, had to be the bigger person, but they rose to the occasion. They held back their annoyance at either losing a game and being told, "Boo, loser."
Well, actually, I had quite an experience when I went to Canada. You see, one of the things with being a leader on a team is that that term "take one for the team" is something that happens all too often, because when the entire team is not moving together, the first person that they look at is the captain of the team. And I could recall that we were supposed to be in the gym for training 7:00 a.m. in the morning, and some of the guys stepped in about 7:15, just 15 minutes, but that's late. And we ended up having to do drills instead of doing the normal practices that were scheduled. And that's basically an example of taking one for the team. I was there early, but some of the teammates arrived 15 minutes late, and the responsibility fell back on me as the captain. And so that's one of the things that we oftentimes encounter as athletes when we're in those leadership roles. We have to ensure that what happens to one where we have to understand that what happens to one happens to all. And that's just basically the understanding of what a team actually is. You do everything together. But also recognizing that athletes have a huge impact of influence on those younger generations coming up. And so it's critically important that we carry ourselves in a manner that is responsible, that young people could look up to, that has desirable characteristics that would motivate them to want to be like you and to be even better than you are. And so I think those are just some of the key examples that I've experienced over my time as an athlete.
Yes, you all most definitely become role models. Whether you want to or not, you're looked up to, you become influential in society, and young people look up to you and want to be like you. So how do you all handle the fame? How do you handle the fame? You walk down the street, everybody knows you, the young kids want to hear from you, they want the high five or skins with you. Girls are chasing you for you guys. More boys are interested in you, Jasmine. People want to be like you. How do you handle the being in the limelight, being in the spotlight, becoming famous because of your athletics?
For me, it's about realizing that you've worked so hard to be great and to do good and to be your best, but you also have to remember that there's a humbling process that goes along with it, and that there is always somebody watching you, a child, or it can be somebody your own age that wants to be like you. So it's very important for you to remember your steps, to remember where you came from, what got you there, and just to keep working. Sometimes you have to learn to block out the noise. Sometimes you learn how to grow in the game and with your teammates and around that. And I just want to go back real quick to what Coach Star said. As a female, males tend to say that females are emotional athletes. And I could agree a little bit with it on a side, because I could remember that game in San Pedro. We played a wonderful game in Belmopan against UB. And when we played that first game in San Pedro, literally everything that could have gone wrong went wrong with everybody. And I'm going to say, including myself, I'm not going to take myself out of that equation. And we lost that game. And I think at that point, for just a bit, I let my emotions get the best of me, not because I was mad at my team, but because I knew what we were capable of. And I honestly thought that that was going to be our year. It was my last semester. And coach came over and he talked to me, and I had to take a step back. And that is why I call it a growing process, because over that 30 minutes to an hour, I had to sit down with myself and, just kind of get back in the moment and realize that the moment wasn't only about me, it was about my teammates. And it was about all of us. And whether we won, whether we lost, we're still there together, and we have other games to play. So that's when I kind of picked myself up and went back to my team, and I kind of, talked to them, and we kind of just narrowed out the rocky roads, and we were like, look, I'm emotional because I know what we're capable of, and it was a bad day, but at that point, it was a growing thing for me as a person to be the bigger person for the girls and for myself. So little things like that make a big difference, and that's where people kind of see where your heart is where your heart is as an athlete. Showing that kind of poise and showing that kind of growth in yourself, that to understand that the game is bigger than you, and that is when you impact those around you the most, because that is when they understand what being a true athlete really is, and the kind of leadership skills that it takes to kind of step up when the moment is too big for everybody else.
Definitely. Sports and good sportsmanship are actually really, really good lessons to learn. Playing sports, you really grow. You've heard from Jasmine, it's more than just about yourself. So you learn how to be a good team player. You learn how to be a leader. I want to ask you, Zahir, I know riding the road, I take my hats off to people, to all athletes who train, but those who get up at 4 in the morning, hit that road, ride the road, and the race on hot days. So I don't know if you want to pitch in here, Zahir, and say what it's been for you, how you handle rising to the occasion and being influential in your society and your community.
First of all, it's a lifestyle. I think you've got to get used to it from day one, knowing that what you're going to be facing, this isn't just a one-time thing. It's going to be for some years. It's something that you've got to get used to, and it doesn't come easy. Preparation is key when it comes to any event, whether it's sports or academics or even in life. Preparation, you don't have the right preparation for anything, you're not going to do well in whatever you hope to achieve. So throughout my years of doing it, it's a constant thing. You can't miss a couple days because you already start falling out of form. So you gotta keep consistent all the time. And I've had success in cycling, and it took me all the way to the Youth Olympic Games over there in China back in 2014. So that was definitely a life-changing experience. You get to meet people from all over the world. Maybe you even have people looking up to you from all over. You never know who's watching. Like Jasmine said, you always have to keep a humble personality going, no matter what type of emotions you're going through at any time. Staying humble, because like she also said, people are watching, kids are watching, they want to be like you. You got to set the right example. And athletics, when it ties in with academics, it's a beautiful thing because they both go hand in hand. And so that's where I've been for the past couple of years. I've been doing cycling, been able to be a member of the athletic program in Galen, and it definitely has made me the person I am today. And it's quite a journey to be on, but definitely a great one. But definitely comes with a lot of hard work when it comes to academic and athletics. So preparation is key.
Good, and thank you. So I want to spin off of what you've just said and say, you all were fortunate enough to have gotten a scholarship from Galen University, and so you were able to play athletics, hone your skills, become better persons, get your tertiary education. But is there anything you think that or the powers that be or government can do better or differently to help and promote athleticism, athletes, and student athletes at that, so that our young people can gain an education? We know what Galen is doing, but is there more that can be done?
Absolutely. Very, very good question, by the way. I'll start off by answering this question that if there is one thing in any country that unites a country, despite the challenges that that specific country is facing, it's sports. And we see this across the world. And I think that speaks to the power of sports and just the impact that it has on the development of communities, on the development of societies. I think at the government level, if we're talking in context of Belize, what has to happen with sports is that there has to be an entire rebranding of what sports is and what athletics is for Belize as a country, so that we could unify under the same banner. There are too many isolations between and across federations and the government and the administering authorities. So the Olympic Committee, the national government, who is responsible for secondary athletics, who is responsible for tertiary athletics. There are too many oversight bodies that's not working in unison with each other, and it creates just a detrimental experience for athletes in our country. And until and unless we begin to implement, for example, the long-term athlete development program that we see is so successful in countries like Canada and the US, where young children are invested in from a very young age, and they go through that entire process of developing to adolescents into junior national team players, into senior national team players, and then also sports after sports in after being an athlete, they become coaches, they become part of the administration process. These are things that we need to sit down and really and truly discuss and kind of put aside all the different politics that's restraining us from reaching that point. There's too many political skirmishes happening within the athletics arena, and that is something that's just holding us back as athletes from really and truly actualizing our potential. And that is why we don't see as many success stories as we would like from our athletes in our country, because oftentimes we have to do it at an individual level, and that's something that should not be happening.
Saying, Brighton, there's politics in everything, and we're not talking party politics, although in Belize, party politics is in almost everything, but we're also talking politics within the teams, between the federations. So I'm really happy you brought that out. I like that you said that we need to rebrand as a country, and what we want to be what we want our sports image to be, and definitely that we need to start from young and pinpoint our young successes from very early on and take them through the ranks, take them through all the levels of school, so that by the time they've hit tertiary education, come through Galen, they are actually poised to go beyond. Kind of what is happening with you, Brighton. We know you've put a lot. We've heard, you've been, stories about you have been in the news. We've seen what Jasmine is doing. We know what Zahir is doing, Farron. So all of you are really very successful. But it's dedication, it's hard work. And you've done this not necessarily with the aid of any government institution, but because you all have been committed and you know where you want to go. And I think that then leads us, and that's a good segue into my last question that I want to ask before we take a break. I want you to think about what would be the message that you would give to young people. We have lots of young people out there sitting on their talent, because they can probably play volleyball, ride bike, play football, play volleyball, but they don't know where to go, how to approach the whole thing. So they sit back, they say it's either I play sports and not go to school, or I go to school and not play sports. And even if I go to school and play sports, where will this take me? So what do you say to a young person who you want to encourage? Because you've lived it, you know it can happen. What do you say to them to encourage them to not give up and not to sit on their talent and not do anything with it?
I would advise them. I would advise them to look. If you want to reach somewhere, you have to look at people who are there or are where you want to go. Right. So, what has helped me in my development in sports is one, looking at players who are good and asking them, how do you get that way? Then they would give me nuggets. All right, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to work on your attitude and stuff like that. So it's what I would tell a young person is to always be open to criticism in terms of improving yourself. Try to improve daily. Just to give a little backstory, I wanted to go to UB because UB had a basketball program. I wasn't very good at basketball, but I came home one day and I told my dad, Dad, I want to be good at basketball because, hey, I want to get a basketball scholarship to go to UB. And he worked with me, not because he's my dad, but there are other individuals out there like Darwin Poppe-Leslie or the late Mr. Fred Gabriel, Mr. Macho Smiling. These were coaches who, if I didn't want to get better, wouldn't have reached out to me. But if you have a talent and you know you have a talent, but you don't see any way to go up, look at somebody who's where you want to go, right? And then they would assist you by, okay, well, I got here due to help from this coach or that coach. I went to the gym, I did this, I did that. Because a lot of times as an athlete, you don't see where you're going. And sometimes that can be discouraging, but you have to always remember your why. Like I said earlier in the segment, you have to know what your why is. And if you know what your why is, you will always find ways to get to that, even if you have to reach out to somebody you haven't even spoke to before. So that would be my advice. Knowing where you want to go, knowing why you want to get there, and I believe everything would fall into place after that.
Advice. We had one of our other Eagles who wanted to say something quickly on that particular point.
Yeah, I think for the younger generation coming up, if there's one thing that I could say, it's put yourself into a space that you're not comfortable with. Just try. I could remember back in 2010 when Coach Matthew Smiling contacted me to go and try basketball. I was not an athletic person in second form, and I went and I tried basketball. It was not the sport that I gravitated to by nature, but I put in the work and I worked hard. And then in 2011, I met Coach Bernie Tarr, and he continued to work with us at the Civic Center before it got renovated. And we ended up traveling, I think it was to Puerto Rico, Coach. We ended up going to Puerto Rico, and we played against Carl Anthony Towns. And so there are certain things that you have to just put yourself and immerse yourself into spaces that you're uncomfortable with. Just give it a try. That would be my first advice. And then, like Farron said, you have to define your why. What's your purpose? Where do you want to go next? That is how you start to elevate and scale up. You start to create networks with people from within the sporting arena, and you start to develop your craft. You work every day, you start to develop good habits. And just really and truly staying dedicated and disciplined as an athlete is critically important. So many people look for motivation to try and get things done, but actually it's just the discipline and commitment that pushes you forward as an athlete. That's the biggest motivation right there, just getting up and doing what you need to get done in order to elevate yourself. So that would be my advice. Put yourself into a space and define your why.
Good advice. We have to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will go into a wrap-up of tonight's show.
Gotten vaccinated? Galen University is offering 5 free courses for 5 students for the fall 2021 semester. Here's how to win. You must be enrolled in one of Galen's bachelor or associate degree programs for fall 2021. Send your details to studentaffairs@galen.edu.bz. Make sure to include your full name, a picture of yourself with your vaccination card, a picture of your vaccination card showing your name and the card number, include your program and your faculty. The deadline is August 15th. For your future, for my future, for our future. Get vaccinated today.
Galen University, promoting academic excellence, sustainable development, and lifelong learning.
Did you know that Galen University is offering a 20% tuition discount? In recognition of the challenging economic times, Galen University is offering a 20% tuition discount. Apply now at admissions@galen.edu.bz, call us at 615-3921, or visit our website at www.galen.edu.bz.
Audio Jungle.
I chose Galen because of its strong reputation, great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
I was happy to see the emphasis placed on thinking, research, and writing. It is what I need to take me where I want to go.
I like the way my professors use non-traditional activities to evaluate my progress.
I am very grateful for the wide range of support that helps me to do my utmost best. Everything from tutoring to personal counseling, including the writing lab, the Success Center, and the e-library.
Galen gave me the tools to turn my passion for archaeology into a career.
If you want to connect with your inner champion to make the world a better place, then Galen is right for you. Apply online at our website and come soar with the Galen Eagles.
Welcome back to the Galen Hour. We're in our wrap-up segment. Thank you for being here with us tonight. We want to talk to Coach Tar in this last segment. Well, we want to talk to all of our guests, but we wanted to start off with Coach Tar and ask you, Coach, to please give us some final words of encouragement to current and prospective athletics students who are interested in coming to Galen University. In the first segment, you talked about how the pandemic had kind of put a damper on things. We all know we're trying to survive this whole pandemic and learning how to live with it. So we're promoting vaccinating and getting vaccinated so we can come back to some normalcy and being together. But I want to hear from you, Coach. What are your final words of encouragement and for current and prospective athletes at our university?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Galen because during this pandemic, we've continued the athletic program, even though it's been virtual. We've been pushing and advocating the success that our student athletes that are on scholarship, what they've done academically. And I mean, we got 4 great leaders right here on this panel today. I mean, I'm so proud. I'm almost, choked up a little bit when I hear everybody talk, and I just remember the experiences that we went through. It's that, the message to people that are watching, or young kids that are watching, this can be you, 5-10 years from now. That opportunity is going to be there, and great messages sent by all these, Farron and Zaire, Jasmine, Brighton, just great messages. And it's just been great to be part of that journey, and we're going to always be part of that journey together. Once I've coached you, I'm your coach for life. And, that's just my message. It can happen. And I think Farron brought it up. Great thing. I learned something today. The why. What is your why? And that's kind of how I'll leave that right there.
Definitely is one of the lessons we've learned. We've learned how important dedication is, being consistent. All of the great athletes that we've seen, they say the same thing: consistency, dedication, persevering, growing. You become leaders. So playing sports, being on teams, being a Galen Eagle, being an alumni athlete for Galen University, being an athlete Eagle, really forms individuals, and we encourage our young people to not give up. We're almost out of time, so I want to end by asking each of our 4 alumni athletes that we have on tonight to give us one quick lesson you learned on the field, on the road, on the court, that you want to leave with our viewing audience tonight.
Just want to go ahead and make it quick for some of the females and just remind them to not settle. Other than what Brighton and Farron said about knowing your why, always remember not to settle, not to settle for anything less than your best, and just give it your all. If somebody says you can't, show them why it can't happen. And once you learn not to settle, then you'll break through those doors that Brighton talked about, and you'll break through those areas in life that you don't feel comfortable with. And it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail, and just remember that when you fail, when you fall, you're gonna know when to get back up after that. So that's my only advice.
Jasmine, certainly we need to know when to get up. When we fall, we don't stay down, we get up, and we should not settle. Good. Farron, Zahir, Brighton, any of you have any other quick last words?
I would definitely say always bank on yourself, especially if you know you're prepared for whatever you're going into. Don't be afraid to bank on yourself. If there's anybody who can get it done, and you know that you've put in all the work and all that, all the tears, the hard work, the sweat, all that stuff, be confident in yourself and bank on yourself.
Yourself. Thank you for that, Farron. Farron did his master's degree at Galen University as a student athlete, banking on himself. Brighton, Zahir?
The message I'd like to send to everybody is to not give up. There's always going to be a bad day, but like Farron said, once you know you've prepared, be confident. You might be having a bad moment, but bad moments don't last forever. But the famous saying in cycling is pain is temporary. You get through the rough pieces or the rough parts and you get right back up. And that's how you strengthen yourself. You go through the hard times, and when the times aren't hard, it's easy going. You just don't give up. Keep on trying, keep on doing your best, and nothing is better than giving your best. A lot of people in cycling say we're not out here to win, we're out here to see you all do your best, and that's what I recommend to everybody. Do your best in whatever you do, especially in sports, and you'll always make yourselves, your family, your friends, your community proud of you.
Do your best. Thank you, Zahir. That's a very powerful message as well. We have Brighton. What you learned on the court and what you want to leave with us?
Yeah. Be a light of positivity and manifest greatness. I think being a light of positivity, because if we look at team sports, there's the rippling effect that they oftentimes talk about in team sports. If you're a negative person on the court, it definitely, the ripples will definitely trend towards other people on the court. But if you're positive on the court, then the possibility of everyone staying positive in a match is more likely. And also manifest greatness. If you could visualize something, you could certainly work towards it. So always be a light of positivity and manifest greatness.
Thank you. Be a light of positivity, manifest greatness. I'd like to congratulate you, Brighton, and use this opportunity on behalf of Galen University to wish you well and to congratulate you and to let all of you, Brighton, you, but all of our other athletes here, know how proud we are of you. I agree with Coach. Listening to you all, you almost make us want to tear up. Galen University is so proud of the fact that all the energy, all the time, all the dedication put into its students, that we are able to pull from our graduates wonderful individuals like you. And it seems like every time we touch a Galen Eagle, we're touching excellence, and we are really proud. And we thank you. We thank you for your willingness. We wish you well. Congratulations, Brighton. Congratulations to each of our other Eagle who's on here tonight. We hope that we know the sky is the limit for you all, and you will take on your challenges. Coach Starr, I don't think we could have asked for a better coach. You've stayed the course. You've motivated through the thick and the thin. When we hear stories about how you've impacted, it's all very positive. Even during the pandemic, you have been so good with our students. You've ensured that they've excelled in their academics as well as their athletics. So on behalf of Galen, we thank you as well. And this brings us to the end of our Galen Hour. We thank you for being here with us. The Galen Hour is a Galen University production. We focus on our Eagles, and if you've seen for the last 3 shows, we've had on wonderful Eagles with us. We are really proud of what we contribute to our country in terms of educating our people. We will continue to rise to the occasion. We're going to continue to commit to academic excellence, sustainable development, and lifelong learning. And if this is what we're producing when we hear our Eagles speak, then we know we're doing the right thing. So tune in every Thursday, 8 o'clock here on Love TV, or streamed live on Love Facebook page. You can catch it on Galen Facebook page as well to hear about Galen, hear about our Eagles, hear about what's happening with our programs, hear about all the wonderful things that Galen University is doing and has planned. Thank you and good night.
The Galen Hour. Every Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. on Love Television and Facebook Live.